I'd like to just use our remaining time to let each of you address briefly what you see as the sort of major challenge going forward. What's the challenge, and what do we have to do to surmount it? Why don't we start with you, Alan?
Okay. We have a short and a longer term challenge. The longer term challenge is how do we get this transmission blocking environment? How do we get the tools that we need, single dose treatment perhaps, and how do we deal with those that are not ill but carry the parasite, the asymptomatics. So that's the longer term that we need to deal with and start thinking about now. The short term is how do we protect people who are already protected, that we don't see the resurgence? How do we get the funding up to the levels that's needed to keep them protected at the levels they were before and protect the people who are not yet protected? And how do we just bridge the two? And how can we encourage authorities everywhere and potential donors that the more we deal with the disease now, the more the economy will benefit, both at the personal, community and national levels, the more those countries will be able to cope with their own situations, and the better overall situation there'll be, the overall environment, the human capital will be so much better off with a reduced incidence of malaria. And once we get the new tools in, we can squeeze malaria out altogether.
Okay.
So while I agree with him, I think I counted 9 challenges there. Let me address a different one that may be of particular relevance to this audience, which is how do we keep the next generation of malariologists, vector biologists, everything that we need, health services, research, et cetera, coming in and interested in the challenges that we're facing right now. And I think training that next generation, making sure that we're applying the best science that we can to transformative solutions, that's going to be our exit strategy for the future. And so I take that as a real challenge, and particularly difficult one, given the troubles and the challenges we have in the U.S. economy and financing for the National Institutes of Health. So we really need to pay attention to this or we lose the future.
Diane, you've got the last word.
I have the last word, and they had such great last words. I mean, I think the thing that this is a preventable, treatable, curable disease. We should be able to eliminate it, but it's a biological challenge. This is an organism that's been with us for hundreds of thousands to millions of years, and so I think the challenge is being, if you will, smarter than the parasite. And I agree with Gina. We need to attract the next generation. We need to attract the best minds to work on this problem because, this is something which has had millennia to evolve and develop. And it's doable, but it's going to be a challenge.